Published 2:04 Eastern Daylight Saving Time, the 13th of October 2018. Updated 2:04 Eastern Daylight Saving Time, the 13th of October 2018. Donald Trump Jr. appeared to agree with journalists who smeared missing Washington Post reporter Jamal Khashoggi Friday as he retweeted a post that dirtied his name twice. A foreign correspondent for Pajamas Media suggested that the 59-year-old journalist from Saudi Arabia was friends with terrorists, referring to his time interviewing Osama Bin Laden. "I didn't realize until yesterday that Jamal Khashoggi was the author of this notorious 1988 Arab news article of him tooling around Afghanistan with Osama Bin Laden and al-Qaeda co-founder Abdullah Azzam," Poole wrote, sharing an image of the publication on Twitter. "He's just a Democrat reformer journalist holding a RPG with jihadists." Missing Washington Post reporter Jamal Khashoggi had his name smeared Friday as the investigation to find out what happened to him October 2 in Istanbul gets underway. A foreign correspondent for Pajamas Media suggested that the 59-year-old journalist from Saudi Arabia was friends with terrorists on Twitter. Donald Trump Jr. shared the conversation between both men Friday afternoon with his 3 million followers on the website. At that point, the Federalist co-founder Sean Davis added a comment as he retweeted the post, adding more insult to the reporter, who has not been seen since entering the Saudi consulate in Istanbul last week. "It's almost like reality is quite different than the evidence-free narratives peddled by media with a long history of cooperating with or getting duped by Iran echo chamber architects," Davis added. Reports have circulated that the Saudi critic has been tortured, killed and dismembered for speaking against some of the government's decisions over the years. A report from a Turkish newspaper claimed Khashoggi sent audio evidence of what happened to him via an Apple Watch synced with his iPhone. Trump Jr. shared the conversation between both men Friday afternoon with his 3 million followers on the website. Meanwhile, his father, President Donald Trump, had been reluctant to risk KSA not investing up to $110 billion in the United States, but on Friday he finally said the U.S. taking the terrible situation seriously. The president said he will speak to Saudi Arabia's King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud about the disappearance of Saudi writer and U.S. resident. Saudi Arabia's Minister of Interior, Prince Abdulaziz bin Saud bin Naif bin Abdulaziz, labeled accusations Khashoggi was killed for criticizing his homeland as baseless, through the Saudi press agency. Minister of Interior Prince Abdulaziz bin Saud bin Naif bin Abdulaziz denied Khashoggi was murdered at the Saudi Arabia consulate in Istanbul. Turkey's statement mentioned the condemnation and denunciation of the false accusations circulated in some media on the Saudi government and people. Abdulaziz specifically addressed claims that officials had been told to kill Khashoggi, who hasn't been seen since entering the Saudi consulate in Istanbul, Turkey. He also stressed that what has been circulating about orders to kill him are lies and baseless allegations against the government of the kingdom, which is committed to its principles, rules, and traditions and is in compliance with international laws and conventions, the statement went on. The Minister of Interior also told the world that the country was keen to team up with the Turkish authorities to get to the bottom of what has happened to Khashoggi. Protests took place outside the Embassy of Saudi Arabia in Washington, D.C., but KSA mentioned the condemnation and denunciation of the false accusations circulated in some media. U.S. President Donald Trump has said he will speak to Saudi Arabia's King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, pictured right, about the disappearance of the Saudi writer and U.S. resident. The statement came as a report from a Turkish newspaper claimed investigators had obtained evidence about what happened to the journalist after he sent recordings from his Apple Watch. Pro-government publication Sabah reported that the conversation was sent to his iCloud and the phone his fiancée Hadis Cengiz was holding for him outside. CNN said the newspaper added security guards used his fingerprint to delete some evidence but not was wiped. However, it raises questions as Apple Watch does not use fingerprint technology to unlock the device. While the Apple Watch 3 with cellular is the only version that can be used without close connectivity with an iPhone, his mobile was with his partner outside. She had previously said Khashoggi had another cell phone inside the building. However, BBC reported that Khashoggi had told a journalist there that he didn't think he'd ever be able to go home after hearing stories of people being punished for speaking out. When I hear of an arrest of a friend who did nothing, makes me feel I should go, Khashoggi said off-air. That friend of mine, maybe he was talking critically over something at a dinner party. That's what we are becoming in Saudi Arabia. We are not used to that. We never experienced this. Mr. Khashoggi had been living in self-imposed exile in the United States since last year. Media ET, LLC privacy policy.